Peace and love. Welcome back. Hope everybody's staying blessed. We're out here in the rainforest. Got a little drizzle, but it's not going to stop us. So, today we're discussing spiritual narcissism. Obviously, mental health terms like narcissist, psychopath, covert narcissist, introvert, all these different psychological designations are much more open and knowledgeable to the public nowadays with the internet. But anybody can really go to the diagnostics of mental health disorder, the what do they call it? The DSM, I think. Um, and you can look and you can really research these different mental health disorders. When we talk about narcissism, I'm going to assume that most people know what a narcissist is, but I'll just give a brief breakdown. We talk about a narcissist, we're talking about someone based off of this Greek legend of a Greek god called Narcissus, who looks into the waters and falls in love with his own image. And more in practice, when we look at narcissism today, we see people who are self absorbed to a level of they depend on the self absorption for survival. So these are people who literally live for themselves. And we talk about a covert narcissist, where this is someone who's far more calculated with their selfishness and more image concerned with their selfishness. And then we have an overt narcissist who just doesn't give a shit. It's all about them. They're willing to say whatever they gotta say, do whatever they gotta do, screw whoever they gotta screw, just to get their way in life, just to make sure that it's all about them. It's always gotta be about them. They live for the drama. And so, why am I talking about the spiritual narcissist? Because spiritual environments are probably one of the best environments for this personality type to thrive, for a narcissistic personality type to thrive, for someone who is completely self absorbed. So, why? Why do religious environments offer a perfect place for these people to thrive? Well, when we talk about different spiritual environments, obviously there's a lot of control often involved. And one of the keys to the narcissist's survival is control. They got to try and control all the time. They got to try and manipulate all the time. So, what better environment than within a religion where people can be self elevated, where people who otherwise would never really have that kind of a position in terms of leadership over other people are given this kind of position. And so what do we see? We see a lot of people take advantage of these type of situations. And oftentimes it comes down to, you know, when we talk about confessions, this is a big part of most religion, most spiritual paths, confessions. So the narcissist thrives off of information, right? The more the narcissist knows, the more the narcissist can control. This is more particularly when we talk about the covert narcissist. And these are the types that you see mostly in spirituality because they're very good at working their way in, working their way through the ranks, working their way up. But they use the power of information and they'll use information against people. So you may confess a sin, or you may confess a problem you're having, or you may express anything personal to this type of individual. What you say can and will be used against you. Now, the overt type of narcissist that we see in these spiritual communities, these people are far more confident to say extreme things to people. You're going to die if you don't do this. God doesn't love people like you if you act this way. You're sinning against a spirit. These are the type of people who are willing to make these extreme claims, who are willing to level these heavy-handed threats, who are willing to point the finger. And they love attention. And so often, the more extreme whatever comes out of their crazy mouths is, the more attention they get, you know. And there's a lot of sheeple, I'll call them, in these type of environments often. People who are not standing on their own 2 feet with their own opinions, with their own thoughts, with their own spirituality. And so the overt narcissist preys on these people like a fox on the rabbit. They eat these people alive. They know how to get these people in such a state that the fear, you see, another big tool of the overt narcissist within the spiritual community is the fear, right? They want to pump the fear into people, because the more scared somebody is, less chances that they're going to stand up, you see. But the ironic part about these narcissistic personalities that we talk about within the spiritual communities is most of the time these are the biggest hypocrites you will ever meet in your life. These are the do as I say, not as I do type of people. And it's not rare for many years down the road for it to be found out that these narcissistic personality types have been carrying on with extremely abusive behavior secretly, or have some sort of big time secret that they're keeping, you see. And the sad thing when we talk about these narcissistic types is that these people often go down in their own misery. What do I mean when I say they go down in their own misery? Being a narcissist is not natural. It's not the nature of how life works. It's not the nature of how this planet works. It's not the nature of how people work. So when we all reap what we sow, energy that goes comes back. So often these people, many times they die miserable, alone, with substance abuse issues, because essentially their disease, which is narcissism, it eats them alive, you know. It eats them alive. And why am I talking about this? Because I see this often in the spiritual communities. This is where these people thrive. These are the aggressive elders, the aggressive preachers, the ones who have their finger in your face and yet are complete hypocrites. And these types seem to dominate the upper ranks of most religions, you know, and it really can destroy people's spirit. Now, I should say, of course, if you in your life are dealing with a situation where you have an aggressive narcissist that's causing problems, there's nothing wrong with seeking professional help, because this personality disorder, I guess we call it, can be very, 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 very dangerous. Very dangerous. Some of the big time narcissists in our society, well, hey, just look at Donald Trump, right? Big time narcissists in society. Someone who is constantly absorbed with themselves, constantly, it's all about them, and they will step on anybody around them in order to keep it that way, right? And so if you're dealing with people like this, seeking help is not a bad thing, because these people are very, very dangerous, you know, and it's something we got to be aware of. And when I look at my comments sometimes, I love I love to see the comments from people who enjoy the videos and people who don't enjoy the videos, because you know that's all right, right? But I always like to observe these narcissistic personality types. You can see it in the way people talk. You see, the narcissist is skilled at the art of words. They're real good at setting you up, right? And that's where we go back to the confession side of this, right? The narcissist will come to you and they want to be your friend. They want to reach out to you. They want to help you out. They want to study with you. And all the while, they're gathering data on you, gathering information, right? Getting ready to set you up. The narcissist will set you up. The narcissist is like that cat out in the bush that's it sets the mouse up, right? And that's how the narcissist works. It's a big game. And the sad part about it is, in these religious communities, this is where we get the most sensitive people a lot of the time. We get people who are going through problems, so they've pardon me, so they've turned to religion. People who are have been abused. We get people whose spirits are wide open for the taking, and these demons leech and lurk and prey on the innocent spirit of people. So let's be aware of these types. Let's call them what they are when we see them. I think that's one big key when you deal with these types, is to call them out. And that's why when you do call them out, watch how they react. They often react like little children. They'll just go off, like they'll have a tantrum because they've been called out on their bullshit. So this is what it is for today. Hope everybody's staying blessed. I will be coming with the piece on Passover, Easter, and the memorial. It's coming. Just gotta wait for the right time, but it's coming. So stay tuned, stay up, like, subscribe, tap the bell. I'm out.